Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Northstar. Hope you're well, are taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves, my viewers. I am returning to my Republic of Syria game here, setting up for multiplayer to a branch. We'll probably switch to Norway after a little while, after getting Syria a little more set up, and have Joe play as UK. But I'm going to be continuing this branch here, single player, as Syria. Maybe eventually I'll swap to Norway. I don't know. I get bored with this nation. It's like a focus trees. Sorry. Kind of tired. I'm on COVID. I'm coughing a lot, which I hate. I don't know. I ate some really overcooked ham steak. Fatty food sometimes give me a cough. Sugary foods too. Actually, this disease is terrible for coughing. Period. So I've been worried about the Central Powers here, but they'll probably bite off more than they can chew eventually. They even have a focused attack the United States. Austria does anyways, attack the guarantors or something like that. Where is it? The war against the guarantors. Yeah. Requires controlling the subjects. Czechoslovakia and Poland. Yeah, they'll go for Poland. They're gonna bite off more than they can chew sooner or later. Central Powers. I probably don't need to worry about them too much. I mean, I'd like with Joe to save Norwegian People's Republic, the NPR. I'll just refer to him as that probably from now on. I'd like to stop the NPR from collapsing, and the Norwegian Protector of Denmark, which actually has already gone Marxist, and I took a quick look at them. They could be interesting to play because they get back after they assert their independence. They get back the whole they lose the resistance thing, mod stands, whatever. But they get back the balance of power, warfare, welfare. It's a lot of stuff. You can't read it all, but if you click it as Denmark to read the full text. So, yeah, and then they're already communists, so they might end up doing the communist, like, central planned economy, which is actually the most powerful branch, but requires you already to be Marxist. It's the second most powerful in industry, and it gives a lot of recruitable population factor, so it's by far the most powerful overall. Though hard to implement normally, but in this case, though, I think they submitted way before they chose the branch of degree of industrial regulation. Represents against the efficiency of a central planned economy, which people buy into. Stupid neoliberal propaganda. Centrally planned economies are inefficient. No, they're not. Actually, they coordinate the sectors of the economy to work together better than when everyone's pursuing only profit, when you can get all sorts of negative externalities. I mean, the classic negative externality is pollution, but there's all sorts of ways that one company can adversely impact another, and will even strive to do so if that company is their competitor, which even happens between sectors with vertical integration. If company controls both raw materials production and manufacturing, they now have reasons to undermine other raw material producers and other manufacturers. Sometimes there's all sorts of nonsense that happens in capitalism. It's actually not efficient at all, which is part of why the Soviet Union had the world's second highest long-term GDP per capita growth rate and second highest income equality level. Wasn't number one in either. This is before the mid-70s when their system started to really have trouble, and that was actually because the costogen reforms, which moved their style of central planning to be more similar to capitalist countries, which is a mistake, even though the central planners really wanted to do that, had been wanting to make certain changes for a long time. They were changes that should not have been made, and particularly problematic because they encouraged efficiency of use of capital instead of labor when the Soviet Union had a labor shortage and did not need to be doing that. They need to be automating more jobs, not trying to throw more labor at the problem to use less machines. That's the opposite of what they should have been doing. It crashed their economic growth. But before then, second highest long-term GDP per capita growth rate, exceeded, depending on the period you look at, either by France or Japan. France also really, their economy crashed around the same time, partly set off by the collapse of the Bretton Woods gold banking system that Richard Nixon tore up, destroyed, sabotaged. The U.S. was the guarantor and the linchpin of that system. So when the U.S. just unilaterally withdrew from it, because it was a system that tied the whole world currency to the dollar. So obviously the dollar, U.S. had to play along with it. Didn't, the whole system collapsed. France built their whole economy around that system, so they ate it. Japan became the fastest growing economy after that. Soviet Union was number 2. The most equal country in the world was Sweden, followed by the Soviet Union. Anyways, so people say, oh, socialism, everyone equal. That's a load of nonsense. There was still inequality in Sweden. Sweden was more equal. Anyways, enough of that tirade. So I'd like to see the NPR not die and actually be able to beat Norway, beat Sweden, beat Iceland. They already have Denmark and eventually Finland, unite the Nordics. It'd be interesting, but that's probably going to be tough. Single player, I'll try and come to their aid is Syria. And multiplayer can get Joe to help him as well. And maybe try and help Trotsky win here. But things are going to move slower. And it's going to be a longer game single player because I have this tiny nation and limited ability to affect the world until I get a lot bigger and more powerful. But there's a reason I'm looking at this. And that's that I'm going to join their faction. Their current war is Sweden, China, Iceland, and Norway. That was instantaneous? Really? Or, no. No, I haven't actually joined the faction yet. But I will, and then I can join their wars for industrial land appropriation. Now, I could have, if I had units, sent them to Norway before I joined the, well, no, I can't send, do I have military access with them? Yeah, I could have sent units to there beforehand, so there's no chance of them getting sunk at sea or something. But the units I want to send are probably mountaineers, and all my units are desert acclimatized. Now, I was very, or heat acclimatized. I was very focused and prepared on maybe getting attacked over Hatay, or rather Hatay being mandated and define that. And if that happened, and then I was to join that faction, I could have pulled the, or rather, if that demand was made, I could join the faction, then defy the Hatay issue. And basically, I could have pulled the UK into Norse faction, but the UK is about to create its own faction if they're left to the AI. So that will no longer be possible. And this attack hasn't come soon enough, and I can't delay saying help to Norway any longer. So, but I want divisions posted here because I need to be ready in case that war is going to be a very tricky thing. And now none of these units are ready to send. However, what I can do is pick a couple units to disband and then start training some new mountaineers who will send. Or start training them. And then once they're trained, I'll probably have to retrofit them into a template that's got some support artillery, maybe. And I actually want to get ideological loyalty for the manpower fairly soon, so in the multiplayer game I probably need to just send mountaineers without support artillery even. But to get the... Or actually, I mean, I could just turn one of these into Mountaineers. How long does it take to train these guys again? 120 bloody days. 4 months. And that's just to get them to trained. Last sec, there's gook on my glasses. I swear I always am getting it on them. I hate it. I've had the worst luck today with all sorts of things. Getting gook on my glasses, no fear and 5 stink bugs bothering me. Wait, I must have disabled long COVID. That's why my energy is so low and I'm tired. So looking at the screen, and I'm like, this is not... Is there an issue with the video quality? Did it get turned down? No, it's the glasses, I think, being kind of dirty. It's probably both, actually. Microfiber cloth doesn't... It doesn't absorb water very well. It's even a little bit dirty. That's not what I need. Doesn't it tell me which card's doing the... What I want to see is if it's using the which GPU. I'm worried it's not using the integrated... I mean, it's using the... Not using the graphics card, it's using the stupid integrated backup one. Alright, it's probably just the lighting us being not so great. Who to disband and send? Possibly a 6 with infantry. One that's got the newer rifles, since I can't enlarge these or give them support artillery without having issues anyways. I don't have that many of them. Well, we got 3. Here we go. Are all equipped yet with the newer rifles. Disband these 3 divisions. 9,000 manpower back in the pool. This is recommissioning. Boom. And this is 3,000 manpower. Yep, so 3 new Mountaineer divisions. I have 24 allowed special forces. 24? Really? Isn't it 20? This is 5% of your field of regular battalions, 57 with a minimum of 24. Oh, it is a minimum of 24. Do note that support battalions count as regular, even though they have fewer men. So using smaller divisions, more support gets you more special forces if you're a large nation, or you actually have more than that 24 minimum. Anyways. Let's check the defenses. 11-2. See if I want to redistribute what guys are here. Yeah. There's not enough guys here, and there's too many here. Although, well, actually, I need to be more worried about Iraq attacking now. I can't fight the Center Powers. If they demand Hittite, I just need to give it up. This looks like desert, but it could be desert that's actually part hills sometimes that exist. I don't know. Plains, desert, there's hills up here. So if I do end up pushing into Iraq, I probably want the... Alright, so I'm going to pull guys off this border is the point. And focus on potential attacks from Iraq. Put guys here. I don't want to give up the factories here if I don't have to. And I can always fall back. I don't want to give up an inch of ground without making them fight for it if I can help it. I do need concentration of force. Mountaineers have unusually high org, so yeah, they can really delay the enemy a long time. And the other guys end up falling back before them and get a chance to get here and prevent them from all being a run. Okay. Actually, I'll probably want to put them on a front line here, even though they won't actually be attacking there, probably, just so that they get planning bonuses. These are 4 width. No, I probably want them here. Mountaineers there. Let's see. 10 width. I'm gonna want here. Division, your crits. Oh, it's like gonna suffer crits. Definitely want the artillery. This. These guys have a ton of defense. There's no way they suffer crits initially, but they could get worn down, fall back, come back. And after some of that repeating a few times, then they might get to where they could suffer crits. That's what we should be worried about. And these guys ought to be on a front line. So they gain planning bonuses. Alright, so for a little while I'm just getting guys there, and I'll have to join the war when I'm about to hit max base stability. Doing industrial land appropriation. Or maybe actually I'm about to finish this. I don't know where I'll gain my first build slot. It could be Aleppo, could be Damascus. If I do it twice, I'll probably get one in each. So, I don't know. Two of the small ones that have. Right. Could be attacked across over these guys. Two of the smaller divisions that have artillery. This, which I'm planning on Iraq. You know what? I'm gonna disband this because I need to retrain guys with artillery. Trains, I don't have trains, so supplies are tight. Alright, Norway wants me to join their wars, which I'll need to do. 2-4 with infantry. These are fully trained and... Oh, actually, I should probably guard the coastline. Can I be invaded by Sweden? No, it's too far away. I don't need to worry about any of them. They don't have the naval range to get the naval supremacy. These guys are fine. Guys with artillery should actually be here. I'll need artillery for certain. I'm adding artillery, of course, because I'm going to need a very small number of men to hold the front against Iraq, while I send lots of guys to help Norway. Don't worry, Norway, I'm coming to help you. I wish I'd done naval reform earlier. Navy XP. Eventually I'll need to fight in the seas. 16 infantry battalions, 2 support artillery, and 3 mountaineers. That's probably a little excessive. This is just 9. These guys get pushed back. There's already guys here. 10 and 2-4 with that. These guys here. Asmussen and Norway aren't done training yet. There's no reason to. Alright. Join their war yet. 6-2. 11-1. This is also closer to supply, so. This can be attacked by 2 groups. Two provinces board this one, only 1 here. So more use of artillery where it's closer to supply. tend to. Mirror 4 infantry. So these guys here actually. So I'm gonna move here. 13 infantry, artillery, and 3 mountaineers. Which then we'll have to split up into 2 provinces if they get pushed back. I join this war, my stability take a hit, and with it my industrial production. Alright. 9 infantry. 3. Slice demand 1. 1.29, yep. More, closer. 1.1. So these guys already, there's too much pressure on the supplies. Let's see, 1, 2, yeah. That. Boom. 11-1. 4. 7-1. Little weak here. The problem is supply. It's gonna percent small. Division here, smaller because smaller divisions have more relative to their supply demands. Have to go to war with China. Sweden, way. Confiscated royal wealth, huh? And using it to build military stuff. Cool. So the stronger flank is definitely down south here. Al-Anbar province probably fall fairly easily, and it's even got some oil, so nice. There's more here, but taking Mosul won't be that hard actually from the west. Of course, I doubt I'm going to be able to push. I'm mostly trying to defend, so. And they come all the way here, be further from their own supply hub. So hopefully the enemy will be undersupplied, or that they will get this victory point. Whole front line's a little weak. A little weaker than I'd like it to be. These guys could get some more artillery too. Artillery! Artillery for everyone. Well, not exactly, but... My front collapses, where would it be? Probably up here. These guys get pushed back, I guess. It's split between these two areas. I definitely want to reinforce these eventually. Anyways. Eventually, Iraq will show up with tanks. This will dump some political power in my lap. I'll be able to swap into... probably the support reserve is for home. Three 6-width Mountaineers. Will that be enough to stabilize the front here? Looks like it. Probably. Thankfully, Norway isn't doing any of the nonsense with... No, I don't want to upgrade bottlenecks. I say that, but actually, upgrading this rail line would allow more supplies here. Yeah, I do want to do that. Eventually. Expensive. Cheaper than this, than the Deir al-Azur infrastructure, though. I guess so after the factories. Or better trains to connect these two major cities. Alright, I hope 3 divisions can make a difference in Norway's war. They don't have many men themselves. That their deployed army manpower is only about 55 infantry battalions. So 9. It's like more than 1/9 increase in their strength. Did I say more than 1/9? More than 1/6 increase in their strength. Norway, capitalist Norway and Sweden don't seem to be pushing any because they're wicked undersupplied. Like even the Norwegian troops are. I might be able to do something about that. You can build ports and railroads in Allied territory, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And heck, Norway will be able to send stuff by sea, so really I just need to build a port. Yeah, there. Could be attacked or whatever, but this will ensure that these Norwegian divisions here are well supplied. Helping to hold that flank. They have tons of convoys, so they should be able to send supplies by sea. England was in their faction. In his service to the socialist state of Syria, it seems Tawfiq ibn has pushed himself too far. As a result of the bad climate in the operational area, he's now fallen ill. Yeah, in deserts. Shoot. This guy was one of my unyielding defender tricksters. Well, unyielding defender was actually useless until he gained skill advantage, but he was, at least for a general, inflexible strategist, so he would have been easier on logistics trickster. I'll replace him, and actually I probably want him off duty anyways if I'm going to put him in charge of guys in Norway. One of the commandos would be a good one to... I've got a cautious commando here. Reckless. He's not like us yet to combat. But the non-combat out of supply penalties set the maximum organization, really, for divisions. They can't get as organized if they don't have adequate supply. And their recovery rate, so maybe that's only if their supply is much lower in this. Probably that. Alright, so maybe not this guy then. Field Marshal. Trickster will help up in Norway. Commando, only at very low supply, so no. Still a useful trait to have eventually. I don't know if there's any air superiority there over the Norwegian territory. I should check before I choose who's going to be my general. Nope, no enemy aircraft there, but I know Iraq has some aircraft here. And this is right in their home air zone, so can't even contest easily. Okay, so I want a camouflage expert. Here we go. Jafar ibn Jafar. So I'm doing less defense, but if I have the doctrine, which I don't, I'll give him camouflage expert. The proper use of camouflage can significantly reduce the threat of enemy airstrikes. Because Iraq has an air force, and their air force will get bigger over time, I assume, if they either buy aircraft or produce them. But yeah, I don't know what that is. CAS, whatever. That'll just reduce the penalties if facing Iraq. I don't know how they're camouflaged in the desert. Probably, well, desert camouflage. What am I saying? I know what that looks like. I was in order to see once upon a time. So expert in desert camo. And this field marshal is just an old guard, so higher entrenchment. Why does this not actually sort by defense skill? Considering I know some of them have 2. I'll put them on the bottom. Either way. These 3 are the ones who might. One of them 6. So one of these 2 in Norway. So easier on the very limited supply there. Probably the trickster, inflexible strategist. Then I have another one. This guy, when he's healthy, he can go there. He needs to reach skill, probably like skill 5 before he can actually counterattack. So he might actually be the field marshal in charge of the divisions I have there, just for the fence. Probably not. Probably this guy just is a backup. This one. So Ahmad bin Ali, whatever. Might give him offensive doctrine so he hits the enemy harder rather than defensive for elastic defense that won't be forthcoming for quite a while. At the earliest, I would need 200 arm XP, so. And it's reminding me these guys are undersupplied. This storm makes it worse. Sandstorm. Reduces supply efficiency. So the supply doesn't come as far from the hubs, and then supply consumption because it's extremely hot. Turn off allied supply because this discourages allies from sending units to my territory. Thought I'd done that for the multiplier branch. I should probably save that in because, well, no, because the AI won't turn it off, but I'm going to be playing Syria as well. Thankfully, Norway hasn't decided, oh, let's send divisions all the way to Syria. That would be annoying. These guys aren't the faction, so I can't see their focus. Hopefully it's nothing bad. There's Communist China, Belarus. Ah! Well, stop selecting air bases. I hate how easy sort of select stuff that you want. Huh. Deprayed. And Mao is doing fighter purchases from the UK. And then Camco gets me an aircraft designer. Not likely to get friendly enough relations with the US without sending a mission there. Fighters now. I'll get the Chu XP0. And he needs to improve relations with the Soviets if he wants to get more help from them. The AI is not good about saying those missions to improve relations so they can get the focuses though. Alright, anyways, and it's like little countries like Guinea-Bissau. They even have any divisions? 0, Guinea-Bissau. Cabo Verde has 2 divisions though. Really? Well, Russia has 21. about Russia. That's surprising, but wow. They only have 161,000 population to recruit from, and yet they have... That's a really large military for their manpower pool. They're in their way on an extensive conscription. So they only have like 8,000 available manpower, yet they have more than that men here. How? Are they smart enough to grab ideological loyalty? Nope. They don't even have ideological loyalty. How they have that much manpower? Whatever. Federation of South Arabia. Really? Instead of having this be United Yemen. And Oman, Muscat. This guy's here. This tree here. I could just do a 10 width. Basic rifles. Yeah. That's a basic conscription law. Okay. Political correctness. Manpower. Manpower. Well, yes, manpower, but political power. Dumped to my lap. Extensive conscription. Sure. That does raise training time a bit. And almost enough political power for another something that costs 150. Free trade, maybe? No, I'll need the industrial land appropriation. That's right. And that will cost, I think, 50 each, so let's scrap Dodge Nation then. Get started on that. Watching that stability grow. $98.9. July 29th. So August 5th, I think, is... Let's let that expire if I want to end the wars quite that soon. Really? They're attacking? They're attacking and they might win. Might win, but there'll lose a lot of men winning. Because they have the supply and it pushes back the province. Forces them to defend 2 provinces instead of 1, whatever it's worth. This is... They still have the same number to defend. These guys are, I guess, reorganizing or something. I'm in danger of losing this province, though. Kind of dumb. These guys could be pre-deployed any day now. But they're not. Some to deploy right into port already, but they're not fully trained. If we could put on the front, Trickster, maybe Old Guard. It's really actually very critical to hold the front. Nah, I need to skill up. So Trickster. Get to 80 command power. Try and recruit another general. I wish. See, got a commando trickster and just a commando flexible strategist. Just a regular and flexible strategist. The commando, he'll actually gain traits faster. I might want to put this guy. I recently promoted a guy as the field marshal in Norway. Excuse me. No, I'll just promote this guy. Don't have that many tricksters. Have a backup field marshal. Save the rest of the command power. Or yeah, that's good. Cool. Nobody's not gonna be annoyed at me, are they? So let that expire. Ideally now, I'd want to on August 11th join the wars. But I think it generates less world tension if I accept these guys' quest. I'll accept Guinea-Bissau's request. This solely puts me at war with Iceland and Norway. Not Sweden or China. That's gonna be a problem. Oh no, they're automatically in. Okay. Decisions. Alright, industrial land appropriation. Ah, perfect, in Damascus. Boom. I'll do that before I finish the Aleppo infrastructure. In a second, I'll try that again, and it'll tell me where the next one's going to be. There's also emergency factory conversion. Oh. Just enough war support to avoid negative events. It's gonna be a small chance of it, though, after this. Second appropriation. Darrows, or that's not what I want the next build slot. It's still a 2.5% stability war support. Thought it was worse. I'll have to keep an eye on stability and trigger that again right before I overflow it. Guess I can do all three then. Want to play Millennium Dawn together? When did you write with this guy write this? Still there. I don't know if that someone came and popped in my chat and asked if I wanted to play Millennium Dawn together. Not really, because it touches on real world politics usually. I mean, this is too, but this is past. Then I get to hear people talk about, oh, you're evil if you don't support Ukraine. Like, support as opposed to being neutral on the thing, which is what I am, because I can absolutely say Russia is monstrous leadership. It's imperialist. Now it's not Soviet Union, which people will then try and say, oh, well, Russia's bad now, so it was then. No. Even though Russia has finally caught up to its GDP per capita at the end of the Soviet era, 99% of people in the Soviet Union still make less money then, because, in Russia, than they did in the Soviet Union, because all the wealth is taken by a few oligarchs at the top. It is not at all the same system. It is imperialistic, it exploits its neighbors, but at the same time, Ukraine's also an oligarchy and is also very unequal. Though the statistics have been skewed. I remember some statistics trying to claim it was one of the most equal country in Europe. Nonsense. They're just fudging the numbers. Oh shoot, Czechoslovakia is collapsing. That's bad. It hadn't happened yet in the save point divergence for the multiplayer. Maybe Joe can stop that. Here, though Central Powers are going to eat up Czechoslovakia. They're going to surrender. They are going to surrender, and they even finished the Sudetenland fortifications. I guess they didn't get as far as focus actually gives them any of those. They don't fully control North and South Sudetenland anymore, so yep. Guess they only got fortification studies done. Anyways, they're getting conquered. Central Powers, like I said, they'll eventually buy off more than they chew, but it's going to be a while. Probably. Alright, I have 6,000 more people, thanks to, extensive conscription. Almost out of basic infantry equipment. Shoot. To rip some equipment and manpower, I'm gonna have these guys switch to this. Gain back some manpower. And, you know, some guys switch to being artillerymen. Still should reduce their veterancy less than if they had to train the guys from nothing. There we go. More rifles for the training of that. Capo Verde wants to give me convoys. Sure. I'm getting pursued. These guys have probably been churning them out for a while, so they have all these convoys, and I'll sell them and actually get some use out of. I have 46 convoys yet. They've just been producing and not selling them or anything. Oh, I should need those to get up there, although I do have some in the market. To get to Norway, I'll need convoys. Alright, yeah, let's go one lease to Norway. Alright. Spread over 2 months. Oh yeah, no, there's a land route for the Lend-Lease through neutral countries. It would say, okay, so it can't even be intercepted. I don't want is for Norway to start raising a bunch of divisions and have them undermanned. They need to be able to replace losses, so too much equipment could be a bad thing. Oh shoot, did they... Yeah, they did. They lost here at Bergen. Looks like got pushed back. I was saying that was a risk with what they were doing, and the logistics situation look like. And they actually have spare infantry equipment. I'm saying it's an upgrade though, apparently. They have completely destroyed Cast Wing. They can't replace losses. They could use improved artillery, but I could use it too. I can give it to my divisions I send there. Use it better than them, probably. Treaty of Prague. Czechoslovakia has capitulated. They weren't part of a faction or anything. They didn't become like a government exile. And their focus tree is a lot, though. I think there's ways, like if they merge with someone was to come in, say, create an independent communist Czechoslovakia, and then they were to flip communist. Or if I would just do it out of the other area, once they merge, the focus trees should unlock. I forget it. There's other ways. I think if they've been completely eliminated, then they were liberated to unlock the focus trees. But, so Czechoslovakia was carved up by Hungary. Just grab Slovakia. I think Hungary has something where they demand Slovakian integration. Western, Eastern Slovakia, and Karp something? They got Western and Eastern. And they got that. They control the 3 Slovakian provinces, so why they demand Slovakian integration? Okay. Oh, other country owns. There's someone else. I think they can reintegrate it or something, so they might eventually get cores on that. That's the point. Austria grabbed Bohemia, and that's just the northern Sudetenland, a little rump state of. Well, if they control it long enough, these two countries will both create collaboration governments. I'm not sure if these guys are going fascist eventually. Looks like they're going to be 50-50 fascist online, so they might. Anyways, they might be two different ideology, but two collaboration governments someday if they control enough. Of course they won't. They'll bite off more than they can chew. Huh. Could import propaganda films to go up to total mobilization now. Before I drop my war support too low. War support shot up after Czechoslovakia surrendered. wouldn't have to put a part to actually do that, but Alright, our benefactors and allies are making strategic use of propaganda films. With little investment, we could screen these productions around our own country in order to stir the war effort among our people. Blood and Toil. In an effort to improve public opinion towards the war effort, our propaganda ministers selected the exceptional cinematic production Blood and Toil, a sublime viewing experience with a strong patriotic sentiment for screening across the country. We hope that this heralds the beginning of a long and storied tradition for our patriotic film history. Results have been excellent so far. Masterpiece. Right. That only gets me up to 64% of war support. What? None of these wars are considered defensive wars now? What the heck? Pretty sure it's the same wars as before and it reset. That's problematic. Should not have happened like that. Austria has invaded Italy now. Oh boy. That was at 50. What was I saying? I was at 51% war support before, wasn't I? Yeah, so. Went up. Why was I thinking I misread a number or something, or briefly spiked a number I shouldn't have. Okay, well. Probably the Czechoslovakia thing that. Soviet Lithuania wants to give me convoys? Sure. Another general gets sick? Are you kidding me? My camouflage expert got sick. Gah. A lot of bad luck here. I'll stick this guy on, and when I can promote him to Field Marshal, he can get camouflage expert as well. This is part of why you need depth command for these stupid sickness events. Alright, I need a copy of this that's not reserve. Actually, it's the new equipment, or new rifles anyways. Do I even have any of these older tower pieces around? No, I don't think I do, actually. I guess selling them. Yep. Alright. These guys should get fully trained with the older artillery. Need them ready soon in case of Iraq attacking. Iraq attacks. Or rhymes. I don't know. Form the Arab League. Oh, they just need this after strength level. Oh, they have to be in a faction with Germany, which doesn't exist. Huh, okay, they can't actually attack me. Doesn't look like. Since that guy was assassinated. Yeah, okay, so... Unless... No. I don't know, I still don't trust it. There could be events or something, but... Let's not give these guys their artillery. Just in case. Maybe I'll send these guys to Norway. A little bit of artillery, because they won't receive their artillery just yet. France joined the British Communist Alternative. Because the Britons created its faction. France joined it. France looks to be going monarchist, by the way. They actually have more fascist support than constitutional reform thing that comes after repealing the law of exile. So yeah, France is going monarchist. But they're allied with communist Great Britain. Okay. It's pink instead of red. Probably fitting for a more moderate. To stop Czechoslovakia from capitulating, being annexed, but British Communist Alternative. The Commune of Anglia has announced a new communist alternative to the Comintern, which no longer exists, where in the words of Rajapalma, all socialist states who desire independence from Moscow might join us in defending the rights of the worker worldwide. Whether this new socialist faction will be able to stand firm against Moscow remains to be seen. Another split forms among the Reds. Kingdom of Lombardy, Venetia joined. They are under attack. And this will make it'll aid the resistance, because resistance growth is slower if the nation that is being occupied is at war. If I remember correctly, with the Austria has a core in Vorburg. We'll see. Swiss joined the faction as well. Norway is doing its thing. Towed rocket artillery. And with it, artillery manufacturer at my own trade. This will lead to even more quantity of artillery, but I think I really need quality. Breakthrough. I'm probably gonna have to attack eventually. Or counterattack in Norway. But not for a long time. You know what? Production quantity. Still. Advanced barrel forging. That'll also help with getting the rocket artillery up and going quicker. Rocket artillery is less accurate and has a much lower sustained rate of fire than batteries of traditional artillery guns. However, they have the capability of simultaneously hitting a target with multiple rockets, with devastating effect. Actually, have the same soft attack as improved artillery. Radio or computing stuff. What next? Oh, yeah. I need trains if I'm going to actually send any supplies overseas to get supplies to the coast. Civilian trains. This will allow me to either seize civilian trains, or someone else might have trains. Commune of Anglia, British trains. Soviets doesn't have to go by sea. Support equipment so I can actually do recon effectively. Yeah. Support equipment. Radios, jeeps, pontoons, other equipment used to support troops. I mean, I have all the radio tech. Portable radios as opposed to, I guess, radio towers that went up around Syria already. Were used for political propaganda initially. Let's get started right away. Check that terrible production efficiency. But this will go from minus 9% lack of resources to minus 85%. So a little more production of this. And it actually has higher breakthrough. Interesting. Lower heart attack, lower piercing. But same self type, but higher breakthrough, so better on the offense. We'll probably put support rocket artillery on divisions, but the line artillery just be normal. Using another one of these to... No, what am I saying? The steel situation is really critical. There we go. Towed rocket artillery. And I have 2 factories in normal artillery, but since it uses more steel, which is in terribly short supply. It'll be even worse when this artillery, which uses even more steel still. So. And eventually this bottom one might get swapped to something else like trucks. But, here we go. Also indirectly benefits my production of convoys. Still pathetically slow, but 3 factors in rocket artillery, 2 in normal, and 2 in rifles. This is probably because I already had a stockpile. Oh, it recalculates. Which... Oops, sorry about the mic bump. Yeah, actually, it's a lot more productive than before. Recalculate all of that, it just took a day. Yep, the rocket artillery definitely helps my overall industrial production. Since I'm still just trying to get more factories online, rather than... Yeah. I want to put more resources when I have more efficient production, more experienced factories, I guess. Although they gain efficiency faster when they have the resources, but it's a matter of getting this online so we can start gaining efficiency. Cool. It pushed back here. This just goes on and on. Norway is taking substantial losses here. Norwegian People's Republic. Did they start training another division or something? I don't know. They have less manpower than before. Well, they're still mobilizing people. Either way. September 9th, so September 16th at overcap zone. The 15th I'll need to do another industrial land appropriation. Cool. Do it early, but why? No, this go up by 0.5%, so actually, no, I'm not going to overcap it. Go from 99.4 to 99.9. This currently assigned guy gets a promotion. He's proven himself. Anyway, I want him to also become a camouflage expert. Even though as concealment high command thing if he gains enough skill. Enemy air support. It's penalized. Cool. Save for a while. Save time. Boom. September 22nd. Appropriation. Denmark wants to give me infantry equipment? Sure. And Bavaria wants to give me infantry equipment. Sure, I'll take what I can get. No, shot this if yeah, I think this September 22nd as I said when, so now I have to do. Alright. Industrial land appropriation. Der Alzer. It's a build slot. Emirate of Harar declared war on the Somali settlement. Yep. Ethiopia continues to... Wait, how can this guy... Yeah, he doesn't have the... I don't have the command power for that yet. Okay, construction done. Good time to save, good time to... end this video. Think about what to do next. I will see you all later. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves, and may you always find the guiding star to lead you home. I do. And look forward to the videos that start to get shorter now that there's going to be some actual action.